Disney has been in a state of disaster over the past few years. Multiple controversies, multiple theatrical flops in a row, and now their panicking has led to a massive change because Bob Chapek has been fired, and they've put Bob Iger back in the CEO position in what seems to be a desperate attempt to save their company. I have a few things to show off, but before we get into the topic at hand, if you enjoy the content that I create, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. Follow me on social media like Twitter or mine so that you can see when my content is posted. And of course, if you do really enjoy the videos and the live streams that I create, please consider becoming a Dark Titan via Patreon for just $1 a month, or support the channel via YouTube memberships. All of the links are in the description, and of course, I do really appreciate all of the support. So this is a Bounding into Comics article, and this news actually broke overnight. I mean, it released at like 10 p.m. Eastern, which was surprising to a lot of people because obviously everyone's going to be talking about it. You'd think they would have just waited until Monday to announce this, but they didn't. It says the Walt Disney Company attempts to solve its problems by rehiring the architect of those problems. Bob Iger returns as CEO and Bob Chapek is out. It says the Walt Disney Company announced that the former CEO, Bob Iger, was named CEO by the Disney Board of Directors after Chapek was seemingly fired from his position. Now, we have been watching very closely what's been happening to Disney and just all of the public problems that they have. Never mind the ones going on behind the scenes, but it seemed very obvious that something was going to change. I didn't expect it to be the CEO, and I definitely didn't expect Iger to return, but they must think that this is a solution to all of their problems because Bob Iger did lead this company for many years and he did a pretty decent job. And ever since Chapek became the CEO, things changed. And I guess they're just sick and tired of waiting to see if all of those changes will lead to a return. It says the press release added Iger, who spent more than 4 decades at the company, including 15 years as its CEO, has agreed to serve as the CEO for 2 years with a mandate from the board to set the strategic direction for renewed growth and to work closely with the board in developing a successor to lead the company at the completion of his term. Iger succeeds Bob Chapek, who has stepped down from his position. It's crazy to know that only 2 years ago, Chapek was the one who replaced Iger, and they had so many high hopes for him. They thought he was going to do a great job. They thought he was really going to turn the company around. I remember they went on and on about how he was basically just like a modern choice for them. They thought that he had a lot of forward-thinking ideas, and well, those haven't worked out for them. I think that this happened for a few major reasons. The first is that they are not seeing the numbers they expect to financially. They are missing their marks. They're not doing as good as they hope to do. And I also feel like they felt maybe pressured a bit to make a change. They must have seen Zaslav making massive moves at Warner Brothers Discovery and felt like they had to as well, and this was their outcome. I mean, Chapek has severely damaged his reputation, and since the change in leadership to him, there have been a lot of controversies, bad content releases, and overall flops for Disney. Now, I talk a lot about Disney on the channel. There's always some kind of news with them, but over the past few months and also years, there hasn't been a lot of positive news for them. It says this move comes shortly after the poor fourth quarter earnings results. Yahoo Finance commented on the company's report saying, well, misses all around, at least on the top 3 key numbers here. So for subscribers, Disney Plus, that's one of the big ones. That's where the focus is. $118 million. That's up 1.8% quarter over quarter, but it is short of about $1.5 million of what Wall Street was expecting. That exact number is 119.6 million. Adjusted EPS coming into light as well, 0.37 cents versus an estimate of 5.49 cents, so off by about 12 cents right there. Revenue also missing 18.53 billion, that's up almost 9% quarter to quarter, but they expected 18.78 billion, and obviously these numbers don't seem massive, but to companies, any number that misses their projection is still a big problem for them, especially when we're talking about billions of dollars here. The article also goes on to say the Walt Disney Company has been committing seppuku over the last decade or so under the leadership of Iger and Chapek. The company went out and purchased male-oriented brands such as Lucasfilm and Marvel, and then they decided to turn them into female-oriented brands, driving away customers both at the box office and in retail purchases. On top of feminizing their male-oriented brands, the company has dived headlong into radical woke politics, and I do think a major controversy that damaged Chapek's reputation in the entertainment industry and also at the company was the Don't Say Gay Bill controversy. I remember polls coming out saying consumer confidence in Disney had went down and people were very divided on their choice to, make that a public business decision to come out and say, hey, listen, this is where we stand. A lot of people were very unimpressed with the fact that Chapek was so vocal about it, but I do think that there's multiple factors that went into this. Bad content releasing, controversies like the Don't Say Gay Bill situation, and just overall, their numbers not lining up with predictions. As the article says, though, maybe one of the biggest blunders was putting all of their chips into the Disney Plus streaming service and cutting off licensed revenue to other streamers such as Netflix, who previously paid big dollars to get the MCU flicks and other Disney films and television programming. This definitely could play a part in it. Obviously, they wanted their consumers to be on their streaming service. They put a lot of money into it initially, and they put a lot of focus into it initially, but I think also a massive problem is just the content they are releasing. They are forcing consumers away. They are not creating what we want, and people have been just fatigued by the Marvel brand in general. I did talk about that in a previous video, but I just think that there's multiple factors here. A lot of big ones, though. Now that Bob Iger is back as CEO, do I think they're magically going to do a 180 and change all of their business decisions? I really don't. As a consumer, I'm still pretty worried for the future of Disney and just the content that they're putting out. Maybe this will be a positive change, but Bob Iger was never that much better than Chapek. He just knew how to navigate controversies a little bit better. Only time will tell. Maybe this will be great. All we need now is Kathleen Kennedy gone as well, and I will feel much more confident in Disney and the choices that they're making. But for now, that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this and found it important and informative, please make sure to give it a like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And of course, if you didn't, make sure to give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I will talk to you all again in the next video really soon.